They called him the King of Football. The entire world watched in awe as Pelé dazzled stadiums, broke records, and rewrote the history of the sport. But behind the spotlight, beyond the roaring crowds and championship trophies, lies a side of Pelé that few have ever seen. Have you ever wondered how one of the greatest athletes to ever live chose to enjoy the fortune he built over decades of unmatched success? Born in 1940 in the modest town of Três Corações, Brazil, Edson Arantes do Nascimento, known to the world as Pelé, rose from poverty to become a global legend. But while most know him for his brilliance on the pitch, what remains in the shadows is the extraordinary life he lived off the field. A life filled with luxury, elegance, and secrets hidden within multi-million-dollar mansions, far from the noise of the stadiums. In this video, you'll dive deep into the lavish world Pelé built for himself. From his breathtaking estate in the Hamptons, one of New York's most exclusive regions, surrounded by celebrities and overlooking serene waters, to the incredible details of a home designed for royalty. 6 bedrooms, panoramic views, an outdoor oasis with a pool, and every detail tailored to comfort and power. This isn't just a story about football, it's a story about legacy, wealth, and the mysterious lifestyle of a man who became more than just an athlete. Stay with us, because what you're about to discover will show you a side of Pelé that few ever imagined, and it might just change the way you see the King of Football forever. On hot, sun-soaked days, where better to escape the heat than in your very own lakeside mansion? That's exactly what Pelé did back in 1979 during his time playing for the New York Cosmos. At the height of his fame, he made what seemed like a modest purchase at the time, around $156,000 for a stunning property in the elite Hamptons, an area home to celebrities and moguls. In today's money, that would be over 3.1 million reais, but that's just the beginning of the story. Years later, in 2018, Pelé sold the mansion, and not for a small sum. He walked away with nearly 15 million reais, pocketing an impressive profit. But what's most fascinating isn't just the numbers, it's how he lived. Today, long after the roar of the stadiums has faded, Pelé lives in Brazil, tucked away in a luxurious mansion inside Jardim Acapulco, one of São Paulo's most upscale and private residential neighborhoods. In fact, it's the same gated community where Neymar Jr., one of today's biggest football stars, also owns a home. Though Pelé always kept a dignified distance from the spotlight when it came to his personal life, glimpses of his mansion have occasionally surfaced during interviews. The interior is elegant and serene, a spacious living room dressed in soft, neutral tones, adorned with beautiful artwork that reflects a lifetime of culture and experience. There's even a billiards table quietly positioned in the corner, like a subtle reminder that the king still enjoys a good game now and then. But the real showstopper, the outdoor area. A vast, open space filled with greenery, featuring a large swimming pool that glistens under the sun, the perfect retreat for relaxation. And of course, no home of Pelé's would be complete without his own private football field, because when you're a legend, the game never truly leaves you. Friends, family, even fellow athletes could join him for a casual match. Just imagine the memories made on that field. As for the value of the property, that's never been publicly confirmed, but within Jardim Acapulco, homes often go for upwards of 20 million reais, a number that speaks for itself. Pelé's taste for quality doesn't stop at real estate. Throughout his life, his garage has been home to legendary cars, symbols of success, power, and timeless class. But what were the vehicles that carried the greatest footballer of all time through his journey? His very first car was a Volkswagen Beetle, a modest, iconic car that was a favorite among Brazilians. Today, a well-maintained model of that same car can be worth over 78,000 reais. But Pelé didn't stay modest for long. One of his most notable early cars was the Aero Willys 2600, a luxury vehicle for its time. He received it as a gift after one of his historic victories. These days, it's rare, and its value hovers around 105,000 reais. Then came one of the most symbolic gifts of his career, a 1969 Mercedes-Benz 250 given to him in celebration of his 1,000th goal. This wasn't just a car, it was a piece of history. Today, that same model is considered a collectible, often valued at over 130,000 reais. Later, Pelé'S was also gifted the prestigious Mercedes 280S, a car equipped with a six-cylinder engine capable of reaching 201 mph, an incredible feat at the time. If you come across one in good condition today, it could easily be worth more than 157,000 reais. He was even seen behind the wheel of a convertible Mercedes 450 SL, another automotive gem. Depending on condition and rarity, this model can fetch upwards of 1 million reais in today's market. And yet none of it ever felt like excess. Pelé'S wore luxury with the same grace he brought to the field. Never loud, never boastful. Just refined, just royal, because when you're Pelé'S, when you've changed the history of a sport and touched millions of lives, luxury isn't about flaunting wealth, it's about surrounding yourself with the beauty you've earned. So now we ask you, what does it mean for someone to go from kicking a ball barefoot in the streets of Brazil to living in million-dollar mansions and driving collector's cars? How do you measure that kind of journey? Drop your thoughts in the comments. Because the life of Pelé'S isn't just about football, it's about legacy, resilience, and what it truly means to be a king. When we think of Pelé'S, most of us picture him on the field, graceful, unstoppable, a living legend weaving his way through defenders with nothing but a ball at his feet and brilliance in his heart. But far beyond the roar of stadiums and the glittering trophies lies a version of Pelé'S that few people have truly explored. A man of timeless taste, quiet luxury, and a life built with the same precision and elegance as a masterfully crafted timepiece. Yes, watches were one of his passions. Not just any watches, we're talking about legendary pieces that don't just tell time, but tell stories. Pelé'S was known for wearing models like the stainless steel Rolex Datejust, valued at around 57,000 reais, a classic that never goes out of style. Then there was the opulent Rolex Day-Date in yellow gold, a watch fit for royalty, with a price tag hovering near 367,000 reais. As the years passed, Pelé'S relationship with luxury only deepened. He became an ambassador for Hublot, one of Switzerland's most prestigious watchmakers. And it wasn't just about the partnership. He genuinely loved their creations. He was seen wearing exclusive models like the Hublot Big Bang UEFA Euro, valued at over 31,000 reais, and the UEFA Champions League edition at 78,000 reais. But perhaps the most iconic was the Hublot Big Bang Unico FIFA, a collector's dream, worth around 104,000 reais. But luxury wasn't limited to what sat on his wrist. When it came to traveling, whether for work, events, or simply to enjoy life, Pelé'S did it in true kingly fashion. One of the jets he used was the Bombardier Global 6000, a flying palace capable of covering nearly 11,000 kilometers in a single trip. With nearly 30 feet of elegant, fully customized interior, this aircraft could comfortably accommodate up to 18 passengers. Lavish leather seats, personalized lighting, gourmet catering, every detail inside whispered sophistication. Of course, a journey on such a jet doesn't come cheap. According to MT Jet, the company responsible for managing flights like Pelé'S, a single trip could cost around 41,600 reais, depending on the destination. And then there are the objects. Items that once belonged to Pelé'S don't just carry monetary value, they carry the weight of history. In an unprecedented move, the king of football decided to auction off over 2,000 personal items, a gesture that stunned the world and warmed the hearts of collectors and fans alike. Among the treasures were pieces like his Santos jersey, sold for over 120,000 reais, and his iconic New York Cosmos Championship ring, which went for nearly 10,000. His Player of the Century trophy, a staggering 393,000 reais. The ball from his 1,000th goal, 50,800. But one of the most jaw-dropping items was the golden crown given to him in honor of that historic goal, which sold for an incredible 1.1 million reais. The 1970 World Cup champion medal fetched 2.3 million reais, and even a replica of the Jules Rimet trophy drew bids as high as 2.8 million. Altogether, the auction raised more than 26 million reais, making it the largest sports auction in history. And in true Pelé fashion, he didn't keep it all for himself. A significant portion of the proceeds was donated to one of Brazil's leading children's hospitals, a powerful reminder that greatness isn't just about what you win, but about what you give. Of course, Pelé's connection to the water was just as meaningful as his connection to the sky. During the height of his career, he purchased a sleek motorboat, a Carbrasma Charol 22, and gave it the name Kelly Cristina in honor of his first daughter. Crafted from fine wood and reinforced with stainless steel, the nearly 10-meter vessel was ideal for nautical sports and weekend escapes. It had space for 4 people, but infinite room for memories. While the boat may no longer be cutting edge by today's standards, its history and the man who once piloted it gives it a collector's value that can't be measured. In fact, after being restored, it became a centerpiece at one of Brazil's most celebrated boat shows. And even though he officially retired from football decades ago, Pelé's influence and financial power never faded. His face, name, and story continue to generate income through endorsements, licensing, brand partnerships, and global appearances. Whether on screen or in hearts, he remained a presence, a force of culture and legacy. So when you look at everything he's built, the watches, the jets, the relics of his victories, the quiet generosity, you start to realize something deeper. Pelé wasn't just the king of the pitch. He was a man who knew how to enjoy life with elegance, honor his past, and give back to the world that crowned him. And now we ask you, if you could own one object from Pelé's legendary life, what would it be, and why? Drop it in the comments. Let's talk legacy, dreams, and the true meaning of greatness. There are stories that live forever, and Pelé's is one of them. He wasn't just the greatest footballer of all time. He was, and still is, a global icon, a man whose name echoes far beyond the world of sports. From the narrow streets of Brazil to the most prestigious halls of power, Pelé became more than an athlete. He became a symbol, and even now, well into his 80s, the magic of his presence hasn't faded, not even a little. If you check social media, you'll see that Pelé still speaks to millions, literally. On Facebook, his page has nearly 10 million followers. Over on Instagram, he's closing in on 11 million. That kind of reach is rare for any public figure, let alone someone who last laced up their boots decades ago. But that's the thing about legends. They never retire from people's hearts. And naturally, all that visibility, combined with the massive authority Pelé holds in the world of sports, turns his name into pure gold. Brands know this. That's why, over the years, dozens of the world's biggest companies have partnered with him to align their image with his legacy. We're talking about giants like Puma, Volkswagen, Honda, Procter & Gamble, MasterCard, Coca-Cola, Louis Vuitton, Subway, Emirates, Santander, and the list goes on. To give you an idea of the value attached to his image, the Swiss luxury watchmaker Hublot reportedly paid 2.6 million reais just to have Pelé represent their brand. And when Netflix decided to produce a documentary about his life, insiders estimated that he received around 21 million reais for the project. His story is that powerful. His name, that valuable. Pelé's influence extended far beyond endorsements. He was honored by some of the most powerful people on earth. Figures like Barack Obama, Vladimir Putin, Bill Clinton, Nelson Mandela, and Queen Elizabeth II all met the king of football with reverence. It wasn't just respect for his talent, it was admiration for what he represented, resilience, greatness, and the universal language of sport. So it's no surprise that even in retirement, Pelé remained one of the highest-earning former athletes in the world. During his days with the New York Cosmos, it's believed his contract earned him around 10.5 million reais per year, totaling more than 31 million over 3 years. That was groundbreaking at the time, but it pales in comparison to the astronomical salaries of today's top players. And here's where things get really interesting. Pelé actually made more money after his playing career than